food justice for us is not just food justice. When we're talking about food justice, we're talking about, challenging oppressive systems that exist in our communities. We're talking about social toxins, we're talking about chemical toxins in our communities, from local polluters that we're working to get out of the neighborhood, from engaging the police and how they interact with us in our communities. By engaging residents that may have the mathematics to deal, as they say, poison in our neighborhood, how do we flip that so they deal with some of the crops we have growing in the community? So this is, for me, food justice is a larger issue. It's also about immigration reform, sustainable immigration reform. It's about driver lessons for all. All those things for me is food justice.
A lot of our land or a lot of our seeds haven't been given back. And I feel, sure, you can put community gardens and give some of the seeds back, and indigenous communities can do community gardens and do a small food project. But that's incremental change, and that's really not justice either. In order to really make effective change and really make the system just and equitable, you need to have those courageous conversations, and you need to start giving back what belongs to the people that were taken away. So I feel as if, and the true stakeholders need to benefit from these programs and these efforts.
Well, I want to reclaim, in the context of where I live now, a very, I guess, a new understanding of how to culturally relate to food that is grounded in respect for the environment and that has a real sense of the sacred, which really consistently flies in the face of corporate farming. I have a poem here that kind of encapsulates the lens through which I look at the world, and that I feel is absolutely vital to moving further in this century. And if we don't reclaim some of these ways and create new ways of operating from a sense of the sacred, we will not make it through this century. And it's basically a global consciousness and a spiritual consciousness. Sometimes I hardly know what to say in this high-tech dark age. And one day a sun will rise with healing in its wings, and loving dew will sparkle on our bare flesh, innocent, naked. Do you know the way from here to there, dear friend, through the storm? Are the rocks still screaming? When I'm silent, really quiet, I hear voices.
How has the mistreatment of individuals affected their ability to be healthy? I mean, that is the focus, and I mean, honestly, doing that, honestly, doing that might be extremely uncomfortable. We are willing to pathologize people in terms of their behavior, but we don't want to talk about all the baggage that go along how we get here. We always want to talk about now. We don't like to talk about how we get here.
So those are kind of what's been rooted for me in doing this work, that it's larger than food justice. Because that justice, we tag a lot onto it. Immigration, driver's license for all, stopping the oppression, and the bad interactions we have with local police in the neighborhood and their response to issues that are going on in the neighborhood in particular. So for us, food justice is an umbrella of a lot of issues that we try to address here with the young people and with residents that come by.
We have food policy councils in different parts of the United States. You have urban groups that are working on these issues. You have farmers groups, but we don't have really a good mechanism for people to actually get their voice into policy, to actually make that happen. So we got, the conversation about food deserts, and you have people talking about, well, we've been talking in our community about ways to solve this, about ways to get power in the community. That's not just getting another big box store in here. But there's not a way for these people who have gotten themselves organized to easily get that translated into policy. And so my vision is that we really keep innovating this participatory budgeting, people movements assemblies, and we scale that up and really make the community the democracy, the community the voice.
Like to have organic potato will be like actually affordable than a potato chips, and then potato chips will be only, only for snacks. And doesn't matter what kind, but it's just like only like would be like, the important food will be affordable for everyone, and the snacks will stay as snacks.
These new models that we're talking about now, when we take these specialty natural food stores and are going to take them out to the masses, people have this fear or this whole thing about inner cities and the jungle and all that. And I just kind of want to say, one of the only ways to make change is to take negatives and figure out how to turn them into positives. And so that's what we're trying to do here, is taking this, what has been the negative food industry, and turning it into a positive thing as far as our health. And these co-op models can actually address social, economic, and environmental justice, or even sustainability justice. Economics, we're creating jobs and trying to figure out ways for everybody to be able to have good food with their dollar. Socially, we're helping build community. These are member-owned stores. You get to know your neighbors, everybody's there. It's a much more building block kind of way of building community. And environmentally, like I said, the plastic water bottles, having your cloth bag rather than plastic bags for taking your groceries home. When we build these stores, we're trying to build them as environmentally correct as possible using green methodologies, and then connecting with the fair trade movement, connecting with the farmers, getting back to the land. It all becomes environmental. And so it's a circle. It's a big circle uniting social, economic, and environmental justice.
So just getting rid of those big guys and, creating more trust. Because if you don't really, because there might be some people who might stop eating because they don't trust it. They don't trust the system. No. They're like, well, I didn't know what's in here.
I don't know what's in there.
Trust has to be created. Trust has to be. And these people who are, studying and, doing all these studies and all these, big things they do, they have to, they have to get involved in the roots. Like, they have to get to know, the people who need help. You can't just write about people sometimes and not even have the experience. Like, talk to the people, go in the neighborhoods, walk around, shake people's hand and ask personal questions, right? So, that would gain, there would be a trust there.